Here's something that most people are not taking seriously enough right now. There is a conflict brewing in the Middle East that has the potential to affect your grocery bill, your gas tank, your energy costs, and the price of almost everything you buy on a regular basis. And if you are not paying attention, you are going to feel it in your bank account before you even realize what happened. The situation with Iran is not just a geopolitical headline you scroll past, it is a financial warning that directly threatens the cost of your everyday life. And the people who act now, who cut the right expenses before the pressure really hits, are going to come out of this in a completely different position than everyone else who waited and hoped it would blow over. And so let us talk about what is actually happening and why it matters to your wallet specifically. When tensions rise in the Middle East, particularly involving Iran, one of the first things that gets disrupted is oil. Iran sits in a region that controls a massive portion of the world's oil supply. The Strait of Hormuz, which Iran has the ability to threaten or block, is one of the most critical oil shipping routes on the planet. When that route feels unstable, oil markets react immediately. Prices spike. And when oil prices spike, everything that depends on oil goes up with it. That means fuel, obviously, but also plastics, fertilizers, shipping costs, food production, and manufacturing. The ripple effect moves through the entire economy fast, and regular people like you and me feel it at checkout, at the pump, and on our monthly bills. Yash, this is not speculation. This is the pattern that has played out every single time there has been serious conflict or tension involving that region. So the smart move right now is not to wait and see. The smart move is to look at your spending and cut the expenses that are going to hurt the most when costs rise. There are 5 specific ones you need to address right now, and I am going to walk you through all of them. The first expense you need to cut is unnecessary fuel consumption. I know that sounds simple, but most people are genuinely wasteful with how they use gas without even realizing it. When oil prices climb, and they will climb if this conflict escalates, every inefficient driving habit you have turns into a direct hit on your budget. Think about the trips you make that could be combined. Are the extra driving you do out of habit rather than necessity? The vehicle you might be considering upgrading that gets significantly worse mileage. Now is the time to audit how much you are actually spending on fuel each week and find every possible way to bring that number down. Whether that means carpooling, consolidating errands into single trips, using public transit for certain commutes, or simply being more intentional about when you drive, every gallon you do not buy is money you keep when prices are rising. This is the most direct and immediate way the Iran situation hits your pocket, so it is the first place you need to act. The second expense to cut is your energy bill at home. Electricity and heating costs are tied to global energy markets more than most people think. When oil and gas prices rise internationally, domestic energy costs follow. If you are currently running your home inefficiently, you are going to watch your monthly utility bills climb in a way that feels unavoidable because by then it will be. But right now, you still have the chance to get ahead of it. Look at your thermostat habits. Are you heating or cooling your home to a level that is comfortable but probably higher or lower than it needs to be? Even a small adjustment can produce meaningful savings over the course of a month. Check for drafts around windows and doors. Unplug devices that draw power even when they are not actively in use. Switch to LED lighting if you have not already. These feel like small actions, but when energy prices are elevated, every unit of power you are not wasting is money you are not spending. And the goal right now is to reduce your baseline consumption before the rates go up, because once they do, the same habits cost significantly more. The third expense is imported goods and products with complex supply chains. This one hits a little differently because it is not as obvious as gas or electricity, but it is just as real. When conflict disrupts global shipping routes and drives up fuel costs for freight, the price of goods that travel long distances to reach you goes up too. Electronics, clothing, certain foods, household products that are manufactured overseas all become more expensive when shipping costs rise. The practical move here is to look at what you are buying regularly and ask yourself which of those things you could either stop buying, buy less of, buy a domestic alternative for, or stock up on now before the price increases hit. You do not need to panic buy anything, but being thoughtful about upcoming purchases is smart financial planning. If you were planning to buy a new appliance or a piece of electronics in the next few months, seriously consider whether buying it now makes more sense than waiting until supply chain disruptions push the price higher. Timing your purchases around economic pressure is a skill that saves real money. The fourth expense to cut is food waste and inefficient grocery spending. Food prices are already sensitive to energy costs because of how heavily agriculture depends on fuel and fertilizer, both of which are tied to oil. When oil prices rise, food prices follow. If you are currently throwing away food, buying things you do not use, or grocery shopping without a clear plan, you are essentially burning money under normal circumstances. Under the circumstances that are coming, it becomes even more costly. Start treating your grocery budget like it matters because it does. Plan your meals before you shop. Buy only what you will actually eat. Learn to use leftovers in a way that stretches meals further. Reduce how often you are eating out, particularly at places where you are paying a premium for food that has also gotten more expensive to produce. The combination of rising food costs and sloppy spending habits is what crushes household budgets during inflationary periods. Getting disciplined about this now, before the pressure is at its worst, gives you a real advantage. The fifth expense you need to cut is any subscription or recurring charge that is not delivering clear and consistent value. Now, this might feel less connected to geopolitics, but here's the reality. When your fixed costs go up because of fuel, energy, and food, the money has to come from somewhere, and the fastest place to find it is in the recurring charges you have on autopilot. Most people are paying for streaming services they rarely use, gym memberships they forgot about, software subscriptions they signed up for once, and various apps or platforms that quietly charge every month or every year. Go through your bank statement right now and identify every single recurring charge. Ask yourself which ones you genuinely use and which ones are just costing you money out of habit. Cancel everything that does not earn its spot. The average person finds more money in this exercise than they expect to, and in a rising cost environment, that money becomes your buffer. Or it is the difference between your budget absorbing the shock of higher prices and your budget breaking under the pressure of them. Here is the bigger picture. Financial resilience is not about having a perfect income or a massive savings account. It is about being positioned well when external forces push costs up. And right now, one of the most significant external forces on the horizon is the Iran situation and what it could do to global oil markets, energy prices, and supply chains. The 5 expenses we just covered, fuel consumption, home energy, imported goods, food waste, and unnecessary subscriptions, are not random cuts. They are the exact categories that become the most painful when an energy-driven inflation event hits. If you trim them now, you absorb the impact. If you ignore them and wait, you scramble to catch up after the damage is already done. The people who build real financial stability are not the ones who react to economic problems after they arrive. They are the ones who see the warning signs, take them seriously, and make adjustments while they still have options. You still have options right now. Use them. If this kind of content helps you think smarter about your money, make sure you subscribe to this channel. We break down economic events, financial habits, and the real steps you can take to protect your income and build your savings faster. Hit the subscribe button, leave a comment with which of these 5 expenses you are cutting first, and come back for the next video because we are just getting started.